there's so much good stuff to talk about. It's going to take me a little while. Just such outstanding performance. And whenever something like this, what I'm about to mention, happens to us, to our group, to our family, and it just so happens to be here in San Antonio, I like to talk about it because there's something really special about this particular test, other than it's an outstanding job by everybody. But what we really do is place more emphasis on character, and what we believe in our group, in our association, in our family, really is a better way to put it, is that the content of a person's character is the most important thing, far greater than their ability to fight or beat somebody up or anything like that. That's really what we're into. It just so happens that we can fight the best of them at the same time, which is kind of a nice thing that we have. But anytime I see something that strikes me as extraordinary, moments of character, that sort of in a way honor what we do, I like to take a moment to recognize it. And that's these two guys here, who are both very qualified black belts, but here they are testing for green and for first brown. So what I want to highlight to all of you coming up in the ranks is for these guys to voluntarily do this on their own speaks volumes about their personal character. And all throughout the world, we have schools in 17 countries. All throughout the world, I look for people like this. We were just talking on the plane earlier about how, our group and what I've done in my life before, we could have 10 times the people that we have. But we don't, because we never, ever change what we do. We don't sacrifice, we don't sell belts, we don't do that. And my point to Mr. Fletcher earlier was, and when we are like that, when we move through the world the way that we do, we have a tendency to pull that kind of energy to us. Like-minded people attract. That's the point. And so anytime we have just an outstanding bit of humility and sacrifice and discipline, and to have you guys come here and do this, and you drove how many hours? 14 hours? It's about time. And it's this kind of, and I have the pleasure of seeing this kind of thing occasionally all over the world. Like, for example, our wonderful representative in Bolivia. Some of you have been to the camp and you may have met every other year. Rodrigo Fernandez and his wife Paula can come from Bolivia. It's the poorest country in South America. They sacrifice buying a second car in their family so they can afford to come to the Las Vegas camp every other year. That's what I'm looking for. And there's two of the most wonderful people in the world. And Bolivia and Brazil and Argentina and Chile, they're all coming in with us, and they're all because of Rodrigo, because he's that kind of person. So I get the pleasure of traveling around the world and seeing personal dedication and sacrifice like this. And so whenever I see it, I like to take a moment and tell you how much I admire you. I really, really, truly do. So thank you for your sacrifice, your work, dedication, and what you know that it doesn't go unnoticed and appreciated. And the next thing I want to talk about is another great of the long list of fortunes that we have in our group is we got some tough women. We got some great women in our family. And I'm not sure why, but I don't care, but we do. And we got some women in this room that are just outstanding. Here's another who, wearing a black belt, very qualified to be a black belt, just testing for a blue belt. So, really great work. Congratulations on that. We're really happy to have you. And I guess you got an old picture of me from a long time ago. From your mom?
Actually, it's from my father.
Ah, is it from when?
He tested with me. He went to the Parker School.
In West LA? Oh, that's back in the 80s. Holy cow. But I also want to tell you, I just think you're outstanding. I just think, I can't wait until you get up in the brown belt. I get to drag you to Las Vegas and let everybody else see you. We just did that. Yeah. And we just also had the same kind of thing happen. Each year in Vegas is a big test, and that's where I really like to bring people and show off. And we had a couple, a husband and wife, from Brisbane, Australia, who came in, and usually they alternate coming to the camp because they got 3 kids once, but they both sacrificed. I think they just locked the kids in a room somewhere. And they both came and they both tested for first degree black belt after 7 years after changing over from Taekwondo. That was a journey to talk about in itself. And so she came up, and Susan Woods, Suzanne, and Don Woods, and she did just enough. So, and you reminded me of her. Your crispness, your strength, and your focus and everything. So it was really good. So I hope you stay with us because I want to show you off. And then in the back, April. And how old are you, April?
13.
There's the next one, the next generation. So also congratulations, Mr. Bunny, you're fabulous. Really great. I hope that we can work out a date for you guys. Now I really want to come see your students. Yeah, it's got me excited to see what you built there since our third one. So I'm sure it's great. So congratulations. And Ramiro, also, nice status. Students look great. So we're going to have Eduardo going for black belt then. Oh, sorry, Humberto. You're going for
Black things this year.
well, both of you guys are going to go. Great. It's going to be a big year, I think. And so also next year that you're going to see very soon, we put together our first Kempo cage fight just for us. So that'll be happening the first night of the test, which is the last day of June. June 30th will be the first ever Kempo cage fight in Las Vegas, and then camp and the test will be the next 2 days, the 1st and 2nd of July. Wow. Those are the days. So we're now at the Orleans Hotel and Casino. So that'll take us for all of Mr. Whelan's students. The progress that I see you guys making is just outrageous. It's just great. This was, I think, the best test I've seen. I think it's just so congratulations. What rank are you testing for? I'm sorry. Blue? Right, again, another black belt, willing to step several levels down and test it. Because we also have things like guys who are been 3rd degree black belts for 8 or 9 years. They come back and they retest for their first, and then test for their second, and test for their third, because they want to get their black belt. So this is a